Now we are going to see about built-in sequences available in the UVM bridge. So these are the sequences available by default. By using this sequence, for example, UVM rich hardware reset sequence, it is used to check the hardware register reset value matches the value specified in the register model. Okay, to perform that, we just instantiate this sequence, okay, in the register model. Okay. Then we can use this. If we are not, we don't need to use this sequence for a specific register. Okay. So suppose we want to disable that, we can use this attribute no reach hardware reset test, that we need to set as 1. That means it will be disabled. So this is applicable for this sequence is applicable for both block level and register level. And the next sequence is UVM bridge single bit dash sequence. To disable this, we have to use this attribute no reach bit dash test, that we need to set to as 1 so that it will be disabled. So this is for register level. The sequence, what it will do means writes, then check read 1 and zeros to all the bits of the selected registers that have read write access. Okay. So all the registers, it will read and write the zeros and ones and it will check. Then UVM bridge bit bash sequence. So it was only applicable for the block. That means execute UVM bridge single bit bash. So this sequence, it will apply for all the registers which is present inside the block. Okay. For that we are using this sequence. And then UVM bridge single access sequence. So this is used for write a selected register via front door and check the value is correctly written via backdoor. Then write the value via backdoor and check it can be read back correctly via front door. So vice versa, it will check. Okay. And it will be repeated for all the register maps. If you have more number of register maps, it will done for all the register maps. The one required thing is we need to mention the HDL path for accessing the backdoor. Then next sequence is UVM rich access sequence. So this is applicable for block level. The single access sequence. So this sequence is applicable for register level. This single sequence is applied for all the registers which is present inside the block. Okay, for that we are using this sequence, UVM rich access sequence. It will perform for all the registers which is present inside the block. Then UVM shared access sequence. So this one, to disable this, you need to set no shared access test as 1. Okay. Then the sequence for each map containing the register writes to the selected register in one map and check read it back from all the map which is accessible. So if we have more than one map, it will perform write through one register map and it will read from all the register maps. The required thing is we need more than one register map. Then this is for memory built-in sequences. Earlier we discussed about register built-in sequences. These are used for memory. UVM mem single walk sequence. So to disable this, you need to set this attribute to 1. This is applicable for register level. What it will do means write a walk pattern into each location in the range of specific memory. Then check the read back with expected value. That is the use of this sequence. So this are high level of abstraction. If we call this sequence, automatically it will check the process. UVM mem walk sequence is applicable for block level. That means the memories which is present inside the block, for each every memory is accessible, it will perform single walk sequence. UVM mem single access sequence, for each location in the range of specified memory, write via front door, checks the value written via back door. Then write via back door, then read via front door. So here you need to, if you want to use this sequence, you should mention the HDL path in the sequence. So this is applicable for register level. If you want to perform the same for a block, whole block, for all the memory which is present inside the block, we need to use this sequence, UVM mem access sequence. Then UVM mem shared access sequence. Similar way, how it will perform in the registers, the same way it will perform for memory as well. For it will perform write through one map, then it will perform read all the possible maps. So it is applicable for register level. One step code where we can have to declare this sequence and how we have to put this sequence. So here this auto test is nothing but a sequence. This extends from SDF bus this sequence. So this example we will discuss. Now I will explain the key point. Inside this is the sequence. Sequence have a task body method. Within the task body, we need to interject these sequences. UVM rich hardware reset sequence. Okay. Interjected, and I create the sequence using create method. And the bit flash sequence, then UVM mem box sequence. So these three sequences are created here, instantiated and created. And super dot body, inside the super dot body, for example, here SPI bus based sequence. So inside this sequence, we are getting the handle of register model. Okay. So when you call super dot body, automatically the handle will be assigned. So here I am directly using. So in the example, you can get a clear idea. So the mem SS RM is nothing but the register model handle. Okay, that we are getting the base class. So when I call super dot body, automatically I can get the handle here. So this handle I am assigning to the model which is present inside the sequence. So reset sequence warp and digiblast. So all have the default model. Okay. So for that model, we need to map our register model. Okay, once it is done, we need to pass this sequence to the sequencer. So reset sequence dot start the corresponding sequencer. If you have inside the agent, you should mention all the path and normal agent in sequencer. So this with blast dot start time sequencer, then setup dot start time sequencer, log start dot start time sequencer. So the corresponding sequencer, the sequences we are passing to the sequencer. Now you see one example how to implement this sequence concepts. Before go to the test bench, I will explain the design what we are taking. So using AHP protocol signals, we are going to configure the memory. For the memory, we have offset and range. So these two registers are there. Okay. That also we need to configure. Based on that, the memory will be configured. So these are the offset addresses to access these memory 1 offset, memory 1 range, memory 2 offset, memory 2 range, memory 3. We have 3 memories here, and to access the status we need to use this address. Here this is the module name. Here these are the port declarations. We are using LSP here. We created 3 memory. This memory array is a type of memdata_t. Memdata_t is nothing but it's a 32-bit. Using type def, we are creating this data type memdata_t. Using that, I declare a array memArray1 as like an associative array. So 3 memory created, and these are the registers. Then these are the variable we are going to use. That is declared here. Okay, during the negate of H clock, when reset is applied, okay, we have to make all these variables has to go its default state. All are moved to default state 0. Then else part, when H trans is 1, we'll make address varied as 1, and H write is assigned for write here. So based on the write signal, okay, the address valid is 0, HID is 1. Then the else part here, else part of H trans, address valid is 0. Then if address valid is 1, here address valid is 1, so it will enter into this if condition. Here it will check the write we are getting here. So based on that, it will perform write or read operation. When write equal to 1, based on the address gives the offset is we defined early, right? On top of this file, we define this one. So based on the corresponding value we are getting at the address, these registers will be programmed. Based on the HW write data, it will load the corresponding values for the offset and range. If we are giving out of this range, so these are the offset values we are using for these registers. Okay. Suppose if I give out of this or in between these, okay. So it will be write to the memory, corresponding memory. If I give something, some address between that, it will check address is greater than, it should be greater than offset range. Okay. The offset is used to store the address of other memory. Then address should be address range plus offset. Okay, it should be below this range, right? So in the corresponding location, mem array of 1. So in that corresponding location, the data is coming in the HW data will be written to the corresponding memory location. So in the same way, based on the received address, okay, it will be put in the corresponding memory. So this address and offset, sorry, this address range and offset we programmed earlier. Okay. So based on that, it will decide which is there will be a particular range for each memory. So based on that, it will put to the corresponding memory location. Right data will be put to the corresponding memory locations. Then if I want to perform read, this part is read based on the address, it will choose any one of the alternative. Here the value is sent to the HR data. The same way, if you pass the value in between that, from the memory, it will access the HR data. Then to make HRD as 1 and H response as 0. Then here we implement always COM block for implementing the status. That is a 3-bit status register we declare, right? So here, based on the offset and range, the status value will be updated. So this is all about design. So first thing, we need to create the trial model. Here, inside a package, I created trial model. First thing is for each register, we need to create a register class. So one register is offset register. With this offset register, we are using for 3 memories also. So one offset register we need to create by inverting UVM bridge. That is registered to factory. Then here we have only one field for the F. Then we need to call this super.new. We need to pass this argument, the name, the size, and the coverage. If we don't need this for coverage model, UVM, no coverage, we need to pass. Then build phase, for the field, we need to create, and then we need to configure that. This is for offset. The same way for bridge. And bridge is the another register is there. So for that, we need to create the register class. The same way, same as like previous. Then status register is there. For that, we need to create a register class. Then we have 3 memory, right? Array of array 1, and array 2, array 3. 3 memories are there. So for that, we need to create one memory. To create 3 memory here. This extends from UVM main. These are extended from UVM bridge. These are registers. These are memory. So class M1 model extends UVM main, and it is registered to factory. Then in the constructor, we call it super.new, and we need to pass the arguments. So here each this is the address of say address size. This is the size of the memory. So here memory 1 model I am using different size, and memory 2 I use different size. Memory 2 model extends from UVM price cost 1000. The memory 3 will cost 400. So now register class and memory classes are created. Then next we need to create register block. Register block is extended from UVM bridge block. Then we need to register this to factory, and we need to call super.new function new. Then here we need to instantiate all the registers. So mem offset register this we created already. Using that, here I have 3 memories. For 3 offsets I need and 3 range I need. So 3, one is mem, 1 offset, then 1 range, so type of mem range register. Then again offset register, we get as mem2 offset, mem1, mem2 range, and mem3 offset, mem3 range, and this is the status register. So all the registers I declared here based on the need. Then memory we created, right? Memory registers. So that I declared, and I create 3 memories M1, M2, M3. Here I am going to use a 2 map. Okay. So I instantiated, I declared UVM bridge map. One is AHP map, another one is AHP2 map. Then inside the build method, what we need to do? Okay, we need to create these registers and we need to configure and we need to call the build. And then we need to create the map and we need to add the registers and memory within the map. Here for mem1 offset, we are creating and we are configuring and we are calling the corresponding build. Automatically that fields will be created and it will get configured. The same way for all the registers we are creating and the memory. For memory, also three memories we used. Mem1 we create and we configure into mem2. After that, map, ASP map we instantiated, right? So for that, we are creating a map, and for ASP2 map also we created a map. Then we need to add these registers for ASP map and as well as ASP2 map. First, adding to ASP map. Add is used to add the registers, the register name, the offset, and the access time. So these arguments we need to pass. So this is for adding to ASP map, and this one we are adding to ASP2 map. Okay. Then here, early in the slide we discussed, right? To disable the particular sequence, we need to set this attribute to 1. So for mem1 offset register, okay, mem1 offset register, I am going to disable these sequences. Sequences means register hardware reset test and register bit flash test and membox test. So these attributes I make it 1 so that this sequence will not applicable for the offset, mem1 offset. After that, I lock the model using lock model. So this is the RAL. We create a register model we created. Then next step, we need to create the adapter. Which to AHP adapter, this extends from UVM bridge adapter. So here main thing is we need to create two methods. One is bus to bridge and bridge to bus. First bridge to bus. So this is the we are receiving is a bridge type. So that we should declare as UVM bridge bus after OP. So based on the time, we are checking this read or write, then we are putting to the corresponding sequence item. Fields we are assigning to the bus fields. Here we are receiving the bus field and the fields where it is mapped or assigned to the register fields, and it is passed here. Then after implementing the adapter, then we will see what are there in the test bench, actual test bench. Then where we are creating the sequence and how we are writing the test for verifying this registers, that we will see later. First we will see the test bench components. First one, sequence item. The sequence item is that UVM AHP sequence item, extends from UVM sequence item. Then here the necessary signals we need to declare the inputs declared as an AND. Then in this sequence item explicitly you are writing the functions. Okay, do copy, do compare, do convert to string, then do print, do record. Then once sequence item is written, then sequence, the read sequence and write sequence we can create. The AHB read sequence extends from UVM sequence. Going to support the type of AHB sequence item. So this should be listed to the factory, and then Here we are declaring address and data. The address is a read, right? So address would be declared as blank. In this sequence, in task body, we are creating REQ. So default REQ sequence item handle. If you want, we can specifically declare this and start item. And then we are explicitly mentioning that REQ fetch write we are assigning as ASB write. So to perform read operation, then address and the corresponding data. This data is nothing but the write HW data. So here it is declared as data in sequence item. We are receiving the data. This are assigned to the data is declared there. Then this AHB read all are declared as enum type. In package, we will declare all those things. We will see later. If AHB read sequence, we saw the same way we have AHB write sequence. Write sequence is extract from Boolean sequence. We will declare the variables and task body. We have start item and hash write is assigned as AHB write. Then address and data we should pass to the corresponding fields. Then sequence item we saw, then sequences, read and write sequences are created. Okay. Then sequencer, ASB sequencer extends from Vim sequencer. The type of ASB sequence item, okay, sequencer is this one. Then within the agent we have sequencer, then driver. Okay, before that interface. The interface is created as AHP IF. So this clock and reset we are generating from the test bench. We are receiving here, okay. And the remaining signals we are going to use in the DBT should be declared as a logic here. Then here we are declaring AHB driver DFM bus functional model. Okay. In the same way for monitor also separate bus functional model we are creating here. Interface ASP driver DFM. So these are the inputs and driver. Okay, these signals are outputs. H address, H trans, H write. We are giving as a output from the driver. So what are the input? H or data H response that we are receiving from the DUT. Okay. So these are all declared as input and these are all declared as output. And here we are implementing function like clear signal, okay, to make all when we call this clear signal to this driver VFM handle. So automatically all the signals go to its default state. Then reset wait reset. So it is used to, if you call this, it will wait for passage of reset here. It will wait for reset to happen. Then drive task is created. When you call this drive task, it automatically fetch address, fetch write, then ASB non-sequence is assigned or H trans. So the transactions are assigned to the these corresponding signals, okay, which we are using here, and this will be mapped to the internal signal at the top. That means inside the test bench. Then if and only if HID is 1, we need to make H address as 0, H write as 0, and H trans as ideal. Here, if it suppose it is a write, we need to write the right data to HW data. If suppose it's a read, HR data we are receiving, we are putting into a transaction data, data. In similar way, we have the monitor BFM, monitor bus functional model. So for monitor, all these signals are input. Everything we are receiving as an input. So all signals are declared as input, and AHB monitor is instructed as a proxy here. Okay. Then sequence item, cloned item, we are using here. So we instantiate it here. Then we are creating the item, and within forever begin monitor we are going to collect the signal interface signals that we are going to convert into transaction. We are putting into item fetch address corresponding fetch address. Okay. The same way we are collecting corresponding signals and we are putting into the transaction. Here we are making $cast and this proxy notified transaction. The proxy is nothing but AHP monitor handle. So inside the monitor we have a task called notified transaction. Inside that we are going to write this sequence item into the handle, TLM handle analysis port will be there. So AP.write is present inside the monitor. Okay. Inside the write method, so this notify transaction we call the BFM and we are passing the sequence item. So this sequence item using the write method we are passing to the we are accessing the write method through the TLM AP. So in this monitor, it's extended from the UVM component. Here, I need to access this AHP monitor BFM, right? So I instantiated as virtual AHP monitor BFM, that has the BFM. Then AHP agent config as mconfig. Then analysis port I instantiated as AP. So it is going to support the AHP sequence item. So this analysis port I need to connect with the predictor bus thing, okay, that we will connect in the environment. Then function new build method, run phase, report phase, then notify transaction. All these we are writing outside the class. By extend we are accessing that inside this class. The build method get config. Get config is a macro implemented config macro. The config macro file. Tick define config get config. So this is the macro we implement. Here what we are doing, we are getting from configuration database, we are getting the corresponding signal here. So we are passing three arguments. One is a type config type. Okay. Another one is config handle, that is assigned here. Then config name, that will be assigned here. Instead of using this config get method, we are just using, we are defining here this macro. Okay, we are just using this config get config and we are passing the arguments. Here the monitor using this get config, we are passing the type of AHP agent config. Okay. Then this type, so we are getting AHP agent config and then we are getting here for mconfig. Mconfig we declared, right? AHP agent config. Okay. That handle we are getting using this get method. So if you see inside the agent config, we have this mon BFM. Agent config. inside the HB agent config, we have the interface that we created, monitor BFM and driver BFM. Okay, that is declared here. Okay, for this we will assign from the top. So to access this BFM, monitor BFM and driver BFM, and this UVM active passive that we need as the environment. So I want to access this on BFM, which is present inside the AHP agent config. So I instantiated this AHP agent config as yum config, and I am getting the handle from the AHP agent config that I already set. So I am getting here, and inside the AHP agent config, I have monitor BFM, right? I will show it. So that BFM is assigned to this MBFM. MBFM we declared. It is similar to getting the virtual interface handle here. So directly using the interface, here we separate as a driver BFM and monitor BFM. The monitor BFM handle we declared here as a virtual mon BFM. So for this, I need to get the actual interface handle. With the help of get method, I am getting the UVM agent config. Okay, inside the agent config, I have mon BFM. So that handle is assigned for MBFM here. So MBFM proxy, there we have a proxy that is assigned to this proxy, which is declared here. Then we are creating analysis port, new. Then inside the run phase, we are calling MBFM director. So automatically it will call the run task, which is present in AHP monitor BFM. Inside the run task, we already implemented. So the corresponding transaction signals that is converted into transactions. And finally, to this clone item, will pass the sequence item or transaction to notify transaction which is present inside the monitor. So this one, using the site method, will pass to the DLM analysis port. The driver, AHP driver, extraction from UVM driver is going to support AHP sequence item. Here also, I inserted this virtual AHP driver BFM. We will implement instead of interface. Then config data, this agent config instantiated, and for this, I am getting the handle here inside the build method agent config. That handle I am getting inside that agent config. I have driver BFM that is assigned to this MBFM. Okay, using that only I can able to call the drive tasks. Inside the run phase, I am calling MBFM clear signal. So automatically this clear signal is implemented inside the run BFM will be called. So it will make all the signals to its default value, and then wait for reset. So we implement the logic in here. Wait for reset, and then inside forever get next item BFM dot drive. So we are going to drive these signals to the transactions to the signals or interface. Now we are going to see about agent. So we saw about sequencer, driver, and monitor, interface, then sequence item. So agent consists of monitor, sequencer, and driver. We need to instantiate all those inside the agent. And here we declared AP analysis port. For this AP, inside the connect phase, we are mapping the AP which is present in the monitor. Directly we can connect with the monitor inside the environment. Directly we can connect the AP with passive, which is present inside the printer. Here in this example, what they are doing is they are assigning the AP which is present inside the monitor to the AP which is declared inside the agent. So inside the environment, they are going to connect with the AP which is present inside the agent. And inside the build phase, I'm going to build a monitor, sequencer and agent. Here, based on the this enum type, UVM active passive enum, we declare active variable is declared as a UVM active passive enum. So we have a type of UVM active or UVM passive. Okay. So here we make it as UVM active. So based on that, we are going to implement this UVM active or passive agent. So where that is present inside the UVM agent config. That is nothing but M config that we instantiated here. So inside the build phase, we are getting the handle. Just M config. We are creating the monitor, and inside the monitor we have M config that is mapped to this M config. And then config.active here we are checking. If we configure that as passive, it won't instantiate the driver and sequencer. Okay, there we declared as a UVM active, so it will instantiate the driver. Okay, and inside the driver we have mconfig for this. This mconfig is mapped and sequencer is created. Then inside the agent we need to connect the export and port of the sequencer and driver so that we connected in the connect phase. Okay. Now UVM agent package we can create. Okay. Inside the UVM agent package, we need to include all the files which we have created so far. UVM this config macro file, then these are the enum data type we declared here, okay, that we used inside the sequence icon, right? So all the files we included inside the ASP agent package. Okay, now we are moving to environment. So environment first the register model. Okay, in the early example we saw a register environment, then that is declared to the top environment. Here that predictor declaration everything we are going to do in the top environment itself. Here we have a name SS env config. It is extended from UVM object. In this config environment config file, we are instantiating the register model, register block which we created. Okay. This one. UVM rich package. We got created register block as name SS rich block. So finally we created, right? That one is instantiated in the env config as name SSRM. Then here we are setting this bit as AHB as 1. Okay. Why we are using that? I will explain later. Then we are instantiating AHB agent config. With that file we are instantiating here. This file we are going to instantiate, or we are going to use here. This is the environment, actual environment. It is extended from UVM environment. So inside this, we are instantiating AHV agent, and then adapter. This one we created. Okay, and the predictors. Here I am going to use two predictor. One is AHV to reach predictor, another is AHV to reach predictor 2. It is going to support this parameters AHV sequence data. Then SS env config. This is the file where we instantiated this register model. So this we instantiated in SS name SS env as m config. Then inside the build phase, here is the function new, and then inside the build phase, we are getting the handle from name SSENV. We are getting the handle. So that we can able to access this SSENV config. So inside that we assigned this AHV agent as 1. So based on that, we are going to instantiate all those things. When the AHV agent is 1, then we are going to create the agent. Unless that we are no need to create the agent. So that we are configured in the SSENV config. The agent is created and the predictor we instantiated, right? So for that we are creating using create method, and predictor 2 also we are created, and the adapter we are creating. Then next in connect phase, 4 things we need to do. Connect phase, we need to connect the predictor bus into the analysis port. Then we need to map the actual map to the predictor map, and we need to map the actual adapter to the predictor adapter. Another one is in the register model map, we need to get the handle of the sequencer and the adapter. So that we are doing here inside the connect phase. Here also we are checking if agent has AHV agent as set as 1, we need to perform all this. So from in the resource database, we are setting this AHV agent M sequencer as AHV. Then here these 2 lines, if we are using the set sequencer method, we are getting the handle of the sequencer. Now it is present M AHV agent but M sequencer, and then reach to AHV that we instantiated, right? That is the adapter we are using. So that 2 handles we are setting to the AHV map. Okay, one is for AHV map, another one is for AHV 2 map. Then here the actual map MCFG is nothing but the handle of the environment config. Inside the environment config, we instantiated the register model as MMSS. So inside that we have the AHV map. So that map is assigned for the default map of the predictor. AHV to reach predictor, and then AHV to reach predictor adapter. Our actual adapter we instantiated, we created, right? Reach to AHV, that is assigned. Here we are making auto predict disable. So the map dot set auto predict of 0 we need to pass. Then here we are making the connection between the predictor bus in to the AP. Here AHB agent.ap. Here I didn't mention monitor because in agent we instantiated AP and that is mapped with the monitor AP. So if we didn't do this, we need to directly map to the monitor AP. And this the same way we are done for predictor 2. Then environment package. Inside the environment package, we need to instantiate all these env config and mem ss env config and mem ss env sp what we created there. The first one we created as agent package. What are the files we created that we put in agent package? Then a RAL package, register package we created. Then environment package we created. Okay. Next we are going to see about sequences used for RAL. Okay. Sequence that I put inside the sequence lib package. Okay, then SS sequence lib package, inside that creating the sequences. Then SS base sequence, it is extended from UVM sequence. It's going to support the type UVM sequence item. Here I instantiated name SS RM. It's nothing but the register block. Then that env config that is declared as instantiated as mconfig. Then this data and status, this data is I'm going to use for pass or get the data. I'm going to use as argument in the write or read method. Okay. So that fields that should be declared as UVM rich data T, and the status is a type of UVM status T. Then inside the task body, I'm getting the handle. I instantiated mconfig here. That is nothing but MSS env config. Okay. So for that, I need to get the actual handle that already set. Here I am getting using get method. So after getting this, I need to map this one. I instantiated value this block, right? So this for this, I'm getting the handle from env config that register mark. I am getting here means if I instantiate it here, it will create another handle. Okay? That is the other handle. So each one will vary. So I pass the handle. If I access, I am going to access the same register model. That's why everywhere we instantiated, and we need to get the actual handle, and we are doing the operations. So in base class, so this is the base sequence we created. Inside the base sequence, what we did, we are just getting the register model handle. We use the help of env config. Then by extending this base sequence, I wrote another sequence called mem setup sequence. So inside this sequence, task body, I'm calling super.body. So super.body automatically it will call the body method of its parent class, so that I can able to get the handle, actual handle of register block. Then I can write this value using write method, then SSRM. So I already got the handle, so I can easily access the registers. Mem1 offset, write this value. I'm going to write that register. In the same way, mem1 offset, here I write for mem1 range, then mem2 offset, mem2 range, mem3 offset, mem3 range. So all these registers, I wrote these values. Then check, here I am passing the value, check as the 0 we will receive for this value. Here from the status, new status, which is present in the register model, with the help of read method, I am getting the data. So that I am comparing with the value which I passed. So default it will be 0. So if it is matched, we won't get anything. If it is mismatched, we will get the actual and expected values. And it will show the UVM error. And then in the next sequence, mem setup bit check. In the same way, in the task body, we are calling super dot body, so automatically we can get the handle of register model. So check we are passing and we are doing the corresponding write for the registers. Then mem setup map sequence. Okay, this is the sequence we did for map 1, and this is the sequence we are doing for map 2. So we need to pass this dot map. We need to pass the corresponding map. We have two maps inside the register model. One is AHP map and one is AHP2 map. So here we implement this sequence for AHP2 map. So we need to pass the corresponding map here. And then memory mem1 test sequence. To check the mem1 test, it is extended from MSS base sequence. And base sequence we created, right? From that we are extending. And here I declared array, static array, as UVM rich address and UVM rich data. So these are the data type we should use. Because we are going to use this as argument for read and write. So those data types only it will support. So inside the task body, call super dot body, automatically you can get the handle of the register block. So here error also we declare inside the base class. So here it is 0 assign. Then inside the for loop, the 10 times we are going to do this iteration. Each time we are going to randomize with address. Address should be less than or equal to the range of the address. So the mem SS RM, the register model mem1. There are 3 memories. Now I am going to perform for memory 1. Get size will return the size of the memory 1. So within that range, that address will be assigned. And then that address, the data will get some random data. So that will be write to the corresponding memory. Then locations we are going to write here. So sometimes we are going to run this. So the address and data we are putting in the corresponding the memory location. We created a static array, right, for address and data. We are storing here. So that during the read operation, I can pass the corresponding addresses. Where I perform write this address, I loaded to address array. From that, I am passing the corresponding address. Okay. Then data I am receiving. Already I stored this data here in data array. So I am comparing. Okay. If it is matched, I won't get anything. If it is mismatched, I will get UVM error, and I am getting expected and actual value of the data array. And error going to implement by 1. Each time when I get UVM error, this error will get implemented by 1 time. Inside, so I have one more sequence, auto test. So this is the sequence we saw in this slide. Auto test is this extends from MSS base sequence. So in this sequence, task body, I instantiated the sequence. So these are the built-in sequences available. Directly we can use this sequence. This UVM hardware reset sequence is instantiated as reset sequence, and we are creating that using this create method. And with the blast sequence and the setup sequence, then walk sequence. So these sequences are instantiated, and we are creating the sequence. We are calling super.body so that we can get the register model handle. Then this one we are getting right in this class. So that is mapped to the model which is present inside the sequence. And here, then we are passing the corresponding sequence to the sequencer. These are the sequences we created. Then we are moving to the test and SS test. Here we create one test called MemSS test. It is extended from UVM test. Inside that, we declare MemSS rich block as a MemSS RO, and then environment config as config, then MemSSENV as MENV, then AHB agent config as AHB config. Here we instantiate and declare error as in type, but we are using in the report phase. Then new method build, run, and report phase. New method, we are just passing the argument to separate new. Then in the build phase, we now need to add this for coverage model. So for that UVM rich block, database UVM rich block, include coverage, we are passing the UVM block coverage. Then register model we are creating here. We are pre-instantiated, right? That we are create here, and we are calling the build of the register model. So automatically all these register class will be created. Inside register class, all the fields will be created. M config is nothing but environment config that we instantiated here, and then we are creating using create method, and then here we are mapping. There is the actual register handle we are getting. So that is assigned to the environment config register handle. From there we are taking wherever we need. Then AHP MEHP config. MEHP config is nothing but AHP agent config. So that for that we are creating using create method, and here we are getting why we are getting this. Why we need this AHP MEHP config means inside that only we have the BFM of monitor and driver. Okay. To get that, we are instantiating that, and for that we are getting. So this is nothing but the agent config. Inside that we have mon BFM. So the assigned one, this will be assigned using set method in the test bench top. Okay. That we are getting here, and we are assigning to the mon BFM. The same way for driver BFM. So wherever we need, we are accessing the mon BFM and driver BFM from the config agent config. Okay, then this agent config is mapped here. Okay. We are setting this yum config is this env config. So that is set for NSS env config. Then we are creating the environment here. Inside the test, we instantiated the actual environment and using create method we created here. And inside the run phase, we are instantiating the sequences. The auto test sequence I created, right? So this is the auto test sequence. Inside this sequence, we are calling the UVM bridge. We are doing this reset sequence, bridge blast, setup, and walk. Okay. All these sequence we are calling inside the auto test sequence. So that sequence I'm calling inside the test. I instantiated and I created that, and mem setup sequence. Okay, mem setup sequence also is there in the sequences. Okay, mem setup sequence we created here. That is instantiated in the mem SS test, and then mem1 test sequence. Mem1 test sequence we created, right? This one. Okay, so this is to verify the memory. That three sequence we instantiated and we created inside the run phase of the test. And then within the rise and drop objection, the corresponding sequence is passed to the sequencer. Okay, that is available in ENV, ASP as an M sequencer. The setup sequence, okay, then mem1, all these sequences are passed to the corresponding sequence. Then here, in case if you are getting the error, it will get incremented. The errors will be declared inside the mem1 test, can setup test. Okay, so that errors, if we get error there, automatically this error will get updated. And inside the report phase, based on the error, we are going to report UVM test pass or fail. If you are getting error, any error than 0, you will get test fail, and you will get this info. Memory controller test fail. If it is pass, memory control test complete. Okay. Now in the command line, with the help of UVM test equal to then SS test. So this is the test we created, right? Then SS test is passed as a command line argument for UVM test name. So when I run this test is passed, and get a 57 info. So automatically, based on this sequence we mentioned here, we call this sequence, that will do the outputs. First reset sequence is happening. Okay. So if you see here, so it will perform reset, then config, and then reset sequence, bridge bash sequence, and walk sequence. So everything is happened. So for everything, we won't get any errors. Everything happen fine. If errors, it will indicate in the red color what is the expected and actual values. Here inside this register package. We said no rich hardware test as one for offset for mem1. So it is not performed. The reset sequence is performed, right? We called, but it is not happened for mem1 offset. happen for mem1 range, mem2 range, mem2 offset, mem3 range and mem3 offset, but it is not happen for mem1 offset. So this is the way we can disable for a particular registers corresponding sequences. That's all about RAM.